I heard a story once of a dream. A dream that honestly could be written into these scriptures as a 1977 modern-day parable. Now, some of you are going to think it is written in there, but you have to listen close. It's not. But it's so close. It was a dream that I heard about a man, a missionary, Ed Miller, I believe was his name, literally had this dream. And it's a story that is so beautiful. When I first heard it, I cried like a little baby. And God totally revamped my entire concept of Christianity in less than 20 minutes. And when I came off my knees and wiped my eyes, young people, it was a step in my life that I'll never forget in time and eternity. It was just a simple story about a king that had a kingdom so vast that he sent ambassadors to administer his decrees. In other words, he was kind of king by proxy. And there was a little country in a far outlying region of his kingdom that just absolutely was the most rebellious bunch you've ever seen. And every time he'd send an ambassador, they'd kill him. He'd send another one, they'd kill him. Another one, they'd kill him. He was running out of ambassadors. So he said, I know what I'll do. I am going to send my son. They'll honor my son. Oh, he'll represent me, and they'll honor him. Now, when the little country heard the king's son was coming, they said, let's kill him too. Then there's no one left to send, and we can be judge of ourselves. Sound familiar? So they got their heads together and they made their plans, but there was a half-wit in the community. And a half-wit's better than no wit, right? I mean, it's 50% better. Doubles his chances of making it. And here comes the half-wit. He says, you nitwits. That's neat. I like that. You can't just kill him. I mean, the wrath of the king will come down on you. You got to come up with an excuse. So they got their heads together again. And they devised a plan. And sure enough, one day coming in on a white horse rode the king's son. And oh, they met him with great pomp. They met him with hoopla and hallelujah. Blessed be the king that cometh in the name of the Lord. Woo, what a party they planned. And they threw their coats down, palm leaves, and they honored him with such a great honor. And then they took him to the banquet table. And there they sat him down to candelabra and crayfish. Crawfish. What do you call them? I ate crawfish. First time in my life tonight. This preacher has done more to my digestive system since I've been here than anywhere I've been. Killed me on fish, which was fantastic. And a steak last night that was more than the plate could almost hold. It was hanging over the plate. And tonight I ate crawfish for the first time. If I can sleep tonight, it'll be a miracle. The candelabra was candles. You don't eat that. I used to think you ate candelabra when I was a kid. They'd say candelabra, and they always reference to a meal. There was such a gorgeous meal planned. My, it was fantastic. And wouldn't you know it, the meal was over, and they bring gifts. Gifts upon gifts, and they lavish him with lovely gifts. And my, when it's all said and done, he stands up knowing he must give something in return. But the problem is, there are some countries in the world that if you receive a gift, and you don't return a gift of equal or greater value, you never get any more gifts. It's kind of like Christmas in America. And so to respond with something, for he had nothing in hand, he grabbed a quill, a piece of paper, and he scribbled out a note, and he said to the host, "Sir, I give this in return." And the man wadded up the paper, threw it down, and he said, "What? We give you the hoopla, the hallelujah and hooray, and the pomp, and we give you candelabra dinner, and what do you give us? A piece of paper." And he lunged for his throat, but the king's son had it figured out, and he had his white horse parked right out the window. He crashed through the window, landed on his horse, giddy up, high old silver, whatever, away he went with only his horse and his life. But looking in the window were three old hags. Wretched old hags. Beggars of the worst kind. Filthy, wretched, slimy, slinky, yucky. Hag number one said to hag number two and hag number three, her fellow hags, Hag number 2 and hag number 3, she said, did you see what I saw? No, hag number 1, what did you see? Hag number 1 said, I don't know what it was, but it was something important because he signed his name on it. She said, just wait till they clean up. And sure enough, when they swept out all the trash, hag number 1, hag number 2, and hag number 3, down on their knees, rummaging through the garbage. Everybody thought they were just looking for supper. And soon, hag number 1 squealed with delight. I found it, girls! I found it! She raised her gnarled, jointy finger. I found it! We're rich! And hag number 2 and hag number 3 looked at each other. They didn't look rich. And they said to hag number 1, hag number 1, we're not rich. We still got our straggly, ripped garments on, tattered, torn, and dirty, our gnarled joints, our straggly hair. We're not rich. Hag number 1 said, oh, but we're rich. Read the note. And she unfolded it, and she handed it to them, and they read the note. And when they read it, they could not believe their eyes. This is what the note said. It said, to the bearer upon demand shall be granted the desire of his heart, signed the king's son's name, and the seal of the king's ring upon it. They said, we are rich. And hag number 3 said, what do you mean we're rich? Who's going to honor that? She said, we'd have to go all the way to the kingdom palace to get that honored. And hag number 1 said, precisely, hag number 3. Precisely. We'll go to the king's palace, and we'll get anything we want. And hag number 2 and hag number 3 said, hag number 1, we'd die trying. We would die trying. And hag number 1 said, what do you mean? We're going to die anyway. Look at us. And hag number 1 conned hag number 2 and hag number 3 into taking a journey to the palace. And on their way, they would have quit a dozen times. Hag number 2 and hag number 3, they just dragging their feet all the time. They got so tired they didn't want to go on. But hag number 1 would pull out that little note, and she'd read it, and then she'd underline all the good parts. You know what I mean? You do know what I mean, don't you? And she'd make little notes in the margin. And she kept reading that note. And it seemed to pick them up when they were down. Oh, and boy, they finally, just about the time they were ready to give up, they topped the last hill, and lo and behold, there it was, a glistening city, a radiant, beautiful city on a hill, and it could not be hid. And boy, they didn't need anyone saying, come on, girls, I think we can make it now. Man, hag number 2 and hag number 3 were beating the path for hag number 1. She's having to hump it to keep up, and down through the valley, up the mountain they went, and sure enough, finally they stood in front of this massive, beautiful city with peculiar-looking gates. Knock, knock, knock. And a little door opened, and a man poked his head out and said, yuck. Who are you and what do you want? And sure enough, to the bearer upon demand shall be granted the desire of his heart, signed. The king's son's name is there. And the king, that's his seal. Wait here, he said. He shut the little door and he took off and he ran into the beautiful, elaborate palace. And he opened the door and he walked in and he had to bow and he said, "O king, live forever. O king, live forever. O king." The king said, "Okay, man, live forever. What's your problem?" He said, "O king, live forever." You have a problem. He handed the note and the king looked at it. He said, "Well, whoever brought this can have anything they want." He handed it back. And the guard said, "But sir." Well, he said, "But sir, nothing. That note says it's got his signature on it. This is my son, you know. Seated on my right hand." No, not on, at. Kids think God's left-handed when Jesus is sitting on his right hand. They have to remember that. He's sitting at his right hand. And the guard said, "Okay." He went out. He opened the big gate. And he said to the three hags, hag number 1, hag number 2, and hag number 3, "Follow me in a straight line and don't touch anything." He took off, and they took off right behind him. He went down winding through these gorgeous, beautiful streets. Wow, what a city! There was no gutter to sit in and beg. And then the hag number 1 said, "Why, there's not even any beggars here." No garbage cans. How do they eat? Oh, what a strange place this was. What a glorious city. Mansions. Oh, it was gorgeous. And soon they turned into this elaborate palace that had a light about it that seemed like it never went out. And they walked inside, and the guard said, "O king, live forever, O king." And the king said, "Yuck. Who's that?" And the guard said, "O king, I tried to tell you. I tried to tell you. They have the note." And the king said, "You're kidding." Okay, come on in. What do you want? Hag number 3 couldn't wait. Oh, she couldn't wait. She blurted out, "I want a mansion just over the hilltop." And the king looked over and he said, "Son, she's wanting a mansion. Are you sure you wrote this note?" "Father," he said, "that's the note." "That's the note. I told you about it, Father. I wrote the note, and I signed it. That's my name, and that's your seal of approval. She asked for it. She got it." And the king said, "Okay, guard, take these hags. Get them a mansion on the hilltop." Hag number 2 and hag number 1 said, Wait a minute, old king, live forever. We didn't ask for a mansion on the hilltop." Oh, he said, "You don't want a mansion on the hilltop?" Hag number 2 couldn't wait. She said, "Oh, no, I want to live in that room." He said, "In that room? In my palace?" "That's right," she said. "Just build my mansion next door to..." You with me? He said, "You mean to tell me..." He said, "I tell you what, I'll give you a mansion with 3 baths and a swimming pool." "No," she said, "I want to live in this palace." Oh, he thought a minute. "Okay, son, are you absolutely..." "Yes, Father, I'm absolutely sure. I wrote the note. She asked for it. She gets it." "Okay, guard, take these 2 wretched hags. Take them by the health department, give them a bath, move them in." Hag number 1, she finally got it across. "Oh, king, live forever," she said. "I didn't ask to move in here. I didn't ask for a mansion on a hilltop." "Ah," he said, "wonderful. You don't want a mansion, you want to live in here? Great. A Toyota, a motorcycle, Yamaha, you name it, you got it. Anything you want." She said, "I just want to ask you a question." "Oh," he said, "wonderful. I mean, I can handle that. What's your question?" And she said, "O king, live forever. Your son, is he married?" "Psst, son." "Yes, Father." "She's taking us down the river." "Yes, Father." "You know, son, all we have to do is just a zap, zilch, crunch, bang, pow. She's back where she started. Hag number 1, why, no one would know what happened to her. Hag number 2 and hag number 3 are gone." And the son said, Father, that's my name on that note, and I promised. And Father, if I don't keep my word, my name is no good. And if I'm not as good as my name, your kingdom cannot stand. I believe you're understanding me tonight. I told you would have to listen. And the king said, "Okay, what do you want to do then?" And the son said, without a moment's hesitation, "Father, I will marry the old hag." And you might know, she was the ugliest one. You know, no teeth is better than one tooth. Flies circling her head. And yet he says, "I will marry the old hag." And the father says, "Okay, hag number 1, you can marry my son." Wow, boy, she said, "Hallelujah." Oh, he said, "Just wait a minute. There are 2 conditions." "Oh," she said, 2 conditions? Right. "What are they?" "O king, live forever." He said, "These are the 2 conditions. 1, you must be cast into the magic fountain and survive it. And number 2, You must pursue him and catch him. She said, throw me in the drink, run him down, no problem. Okay, he said, guards, take her away. And they grabbed her one by the arm, one by the leg on each side. Heave-ho, 1, 2, 3, and Hag number 1 went in the air, and brother, she splashed into that magic fountain like a ton of bricks. She started down, and she was trying to claw for liquid real estate to break her deep fall, and she couldn't stop. And she was already running. I mean, you know, if you get thrown like that, you don't have much breath to start with. And when she was already feeling like she couldn't make it, she hadn't even begun to slow down. And then she was afraid, and fear gripped her heart. She said, I'm not going to ever come up out of this. And just about the time she thought she couldn't go on, and her breath she thought was long gone, she felt the end of the long fall. Then she began to come up. And this gave her almost, you might call, a second wind. And she was excited. And she began to swim her way up just as fast as she could go. But by now her heart's pounding double time. She's hyperventilating almost, and yet there's nothing to ventilate. There's no air. And her cheeks are burning. And her heart's burning. And her lungs are craving for a breath of air. And she's just about to give up when, poof, her head pops out. Oh, she said, boy, I never came so close to dying in my life. Whew. And she looked in the water, and reflecting off of that water, she saw her face. And there were no more wrinkles. The scars and blemishes were gone, and flowing, gorgeous, coiffured blonde hair. Blondes have more fun, don't they? And she looked at her joints, and they were straight, and her manicured nails, and she looked, and what a gown. She said, oh, he made something beautiful of my life. Something beautiful, she says. I'm beautiful for once in my life. I'm beautiful. And she comes out of that water. And she looks at her flowing gown and her gorgeous slippers, and she says to the guards, I'm beautiful. But the guards are no dummies. They can see. And she says, do you have a mirror? They said, do we have a mirror? We got a room full of mirrors. Come here, sweetheart. And they took her to her own room full of mirrors. And there she looked. Oh, she said, wow, beautiful. Oh, what a figure. I'm beautiful. And they said, sun up now. We'll pick you up, and you must pursue him. Oh, she says, right on, man, no problem. Oh, and she said, bye-bye. And they shut the door, and all night, when she should have been resting, she was looking in that mirror. Boy, she was gorgeous. Wow. Knock, knock, knock. Who is it? It's the guards, ma'am. Time to pursue the king's son. Oh, she said, not yet. Not yet. Yes, they said, it's been all night now. It's sunup. Why, it can't be all night. I just got here. They said, well, not really, ma'am. You see, it's been all night. And she said, but I'm tired. Let's pursue him in the morning, tomorrow morning. They said, well, count the deal off then. You can't. Oh, she said, don't count the deal off. Yeah, I may be tired, but I'm not going to miss this chance. She popped the door open. She said, take me to him. She hiked that gown up. Away she went, boy. She's going to chase him. And she turned a corner, and in the courtyard, there he sat on a horse. Of course, she put on that dignified show. Good morning. Good morning, she said. He said, hi. She said, where's my horse? And he said, you don't get one. What do you mean, I don't get one? She said. Well, he said, you're to pursue me. Oh, she said, you're going to walk. Oh, no, he said, the king's son never walks. Never walks. She said, you mean I'm supposed to chase you and you on a horse, me on these shoes? I'm made for running anyway. And she got an idea. She said, I'll catch him right now when he's not expecting it. And she jumped one, but he's too sharp for that. Clippity-clop, away he went. Pitter-pat, away she went. She is out to get him, man. I mean, after all, let him kiss me, she was saying, all the way down the road. Let him kiss me. And he was getting further away, and she was getting a little scared, so she kicked those shoes off, and she said, I don't need them. And she took off barefooted. Man, she's going for everything she had. And when she turned the corner, there he sat on his horse, right in front of her. And when she jumped for him, he jumped the fence, and right in the middle of the briar patch, he took off. Got out in the middle of it, sat on his horse, turned around and looked, and she said, hands on hips out there on the little country road, "You think I'm going to chase you and you on that horse in a briar patch?" Why, she said, "I already lost my shoes. Look at me. I'm tired. My feet are dirty. And you want me in that briar patch?" And he said, "I'm worth it." Oh, she said, "You sure are." Boy, she jumped the fence into the briar patch. Boy, I mean like a roto-rooter, dust flying, weeds going everywhere. She's tearing out through that briar patch. And you can't give up the horse in a briar patch, let's face it. He got further away. And when she looked again, he was sitting on top of the mountain. And standing out in the middle of the briar patch, she was a mess. Her skirt was shredded. Her knees and legs were cut. Her hose were done for. And she said, hands on hips, "You've already run me down the country road in the briar patch. You think I'm going up that mountain for you? You got another thing coming." And he said, "I'm worth it." Oh, she said, "Don't say that." And boy, up that mountain she went. I mean, dust flying, rocks falling. And when she finally crawled up over the last rock, pulled her nose up, bruised, dirty, wretched looking, there he was, sitting right there in the middle of a hot, burning desert. She pulled herself up and she said, hands on hips, "I've come down the country lane in this briar patch and up this mountain. And you think I'm going across this desert after you?" And he said, "I'm worth it." She said, "Don't say that again." And she hit that desert like a dune buggy, man. I mean, a cloud of dust. Boy, she was over hill and dale. But you can't keep up with a horse, and you and I both know it can't go on forever. And of all places, I guess the desert's the one you're going to fall in if you're going to fall. And sure enough, on her face, she plowed the dirt. Oh, but she's determined. Hag number one wants that man. And she got up, ran again, but fell again. You can't keep running in hot, burning, knee-deep sand, seeing heat waves off the floor of that desert. Hot, tired, thirsty. This time she didn't get up. She just crawled. And she crawled with everything she had. There he was, less than 100 yards. She crawled, 50 of them fell on her face. And this time she couldn't even bring herself to her knees, so she dragged herself in the sand, burning her body, blistering in the heat. And her tongue was swelling, and she was filthy. She looked more like her old self all the time. Finally, she gave it her last best effort. He wasn't 10 yards, it seemed, when she fell the last time. She looked up and lifted a finger, muttered something, and fell on her face. And Hag number one, who couldn't be happy with a mansion on a hilltop, who couldn't be content with a room in the palace, fell on her face, and she died. And the king, oh, he is the king, isn't he? Slipped off his horse and walked up to her lifeless, dead body. And there was a little whirlwind spinning vigorously over her, and he spoke to the wind. Oh, you know he can speak to the wind, can't he? And they obey him. And he said, "Oh, wind, what were her last words? What did she mumble before she died?" And the wind said, "O king, live forever." These are her last words. "I have loved thee in life, and I shall but love thee in death. And I'll praise thee as long as thou lendest me breath. And I'll say when death's dew lies cold on my brow, if ever I have loved you, sweet Jesus, I love you now." And she died, O king. She died. And the king reached down, way down. When he reached down for me, mister, he had to go way down. And with his own hand, he wiped death's dew from her brow, took her by the hand and lifted her up in brand newness of life. and her eyes a little dimmed by the fleeting moments that had just passed, and she was a little dazed. But when her eyes zoomed in on the king's son, she grabbed him and she said, "I got you." And he said, "You got me." And then he took her and he lifted her up and set her on his horse. And then he got on board with her in Hag number 1, and the king's son rode off into the sunset to live happily ever after.